I have been cooking up a little something different for this episode of Believe in Fantasy. Not only are we going to do sell high, we might touch on the buy lows. I know DMAC just dropped some knowledge on you with the last video. Make sure you check that one out. But I'm going to do a little bit something different for this episode. Not only are we going to do sell high, we're going to look at the latest, hottest names from the last 2 weeks of action. We are also going to start off by having a look at the transaction trends heading into the weekend before Christmas to make sure we got you on the waivers to lock down your wins, get you the best, the freshest ads, all right here. And it's coming up in just flick your fingers like 10 times really fast, or even 4 times. And it's going to happen. Now, straight away, we are looking at these hot names off Yahoo. Now, the great thing about being here in Australia compared to over in the States or anywhere else in the world right now is, one, the weather is glorious here, 40 degrees almost here in Sydney today. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Let's just call it really bloody hot, like we were schwitzing. We were sweating up a storm because it's summer here. It ain't winter. We don't know what a white Christmas is, but I know what green means. And green means hot ads. And the top of the list, and this is the thing, like in Australia, when all y'all are sleeping in America, not all y'all, because you might be, you might be over in like New Zealand. You could actually be ahead of us here time-wise, or you could be in Europe and you're like waking up to this kind of information. We get this stuff like pretty quickly. We get the ads and the transaction trends as they happen off the rip in Yahoo. Now, it's been about 3 hours since the new day on the East Coast and trends become active and everything goes like, and you can do the thing at midnight, and at 7 p.m. it is generally here. And I'm recording this just after 10 p.m. And in that 3 hours, the hottest ad is 2,715. Check it tomorrow where it gets to. Is it Dominique Barlow from the Philadelphia 76ers after his performance today? You can check it out. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, the 2 steals, and the block shot, filling the cup on pretty good percentages. Now, this is always a risk with guys like Dominique Barlow who don't get to the line all that much. Now, you can see that in his last 3 games, he gets to the free throw line pretty much once a game. And for the most part, he hits them. But when you get those ads and they go like 666, which bumps up to 667, obviously when you round it in the 3 decimal system, it takes a knock there. But his field goal efficiency the last couple of games has been there. Now, they've got bunch of games coming up, and that includes the Saturday game and the Sunday game. There is a back-to-back session to finish up the week, and Dominique Barlow is looking like a really hot ad there, and people are jumping on him straight away. The big name today with the New York Knicks resting players like Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns was the 26 minutes for Tyler Colley. Now, he got this bump. And he got this bump especially with Josh Hart being out. Now, Hart could possibly miss one more game. They've got the back-to-back set. They got the win today, a Jalen Brunson 3-pointer. But what's really sexy, apart from that 16 points, is the 11 dimes that he peppered in, adding a steal and a block. We love that. Now, 2 turnovers from a guy dishing us assist-to-turnover ratio is absolutely fine. We will take that every single day of the week. But we will take the absolutely incredible percentages from this guy. We don't make a lot of point guards who are like plus 500 all of the time. Now, he doesn't do it on volume. I like it when Tyler takes one shot and knocks it down, but this was a really good showing for him today. Now, when they are at full strength in New York, we don't hold much weight to that. This is the other one who's really interesting. Another dimes expert, 13 today, was Isaiah Collier. Now, this is where I'm thinking that he is an ad for now, and we see where it goes. He is up 3% already today. The double-double on assists is very valuable. Now, if you're in a double-double counting league, I'm in one like series here called the Ball Page. There's like 3 leagues of that I'm in, and they count double-doubles. Now, getting a double-double off assists is like rare air. In fact, like it's only like you get like the Trae Young guys, you get the Tyrese Halliburton games last season when he was peak. You get this, but this from Isaiah Collier, this is really good and serviceable. Now, if he can keep his efficiency up from the field goal, that's amazing. Never been a really great free throw shooter, not a really good high volume 3-point shooter, but if we're looking to stream and target assist, this guy can flip a week for you quickly, and he does have a game coming up on the Sunday here in Australia, which is on the Saturday. So make sure we're looking out for the ad for him, especially if you want to target in that kind of streaming area. We all know what Andre Drummond does. It's when Joel beads out. He's a double-double machine pretty much. But the scoring really hasn't been there for this guy lately. Like a lot of single-digit scoring games. So we can pick him up and we can see why he gets dropped really, really quickly. The one that I'm most curious about was Herb Jones. Now, Herb Jones was a bit of a pre-season sleeper. People were trying to add him in the last little bit. And this is what's really weird when we see a guy added like this much. And this is the crazy thing about Herb Jones. So we always started to call him like a sleeper. And he completely underwhelmed. So much so, if we have a look at his history in this league here, he was drafted the 105th overall pick in this personal friends and family league by Newell School. Good bloke. James Newell knows his fantasy basketball. This ain't no taco league. If he was targeting him around here, he was like the best bat in that best batch of around 100 picks. D-Mac and I did a bunch of podcasts about it. I saw him sneaking in, taking Herb Jones in industry leagues around like the 100-ish, just after one. He goes, if he's there after 100, I'm going to sneak in and take me some Herb Jones action. Shot a couple of decent games in the preseason, and we thought maybe there's a big role for him. Maybe he's not going to play that much. We don't know what's going to happen. But we like what we were hearing out of New Orleans for Herb Jones. And then he was dropped. He was dropped back in November, a month in. James couldn't take him on his team, and I picked him up. And then I dropped him off on Friday. And now I'm going to pick him up again because this is the crazy thing about him on his game log. He gets you 17, and then he comes in again, goes 2 from 8. I'm like, cool. He didn't do anything else that I like from him. What I love about Herb Jones, he was a defensive specialist. I have a team with Kason Wallace. I like to add guys like Kason Wallace and Herb Jones and Timoni Kamara as my steals guys to really help boist that, because my team was built around Victor Wembanyama and Zach Edey and Kristaps Porzingis. Get well soon, big fella. But Herb Jones, as to that defensive slant for me, I thought he could score double digits a lot. He's done it right here. I could probably add this guy right back in and stream him. In fact, I probably might do it. I'm not going to do it on the podcast because I'm just fiddling with buttons then, but I'm probably just going to add Herb for what's coming up for him. But today is showing the 8 steals is an absolute blinder. And I was happy that I let him go after this game where he didn't do anything for me, because the next game he goes 3 for 8. Gets a couple threes, 10 points. Sure, I can get 10 points off the waiver. I can't get steals in bulk. And if this guy is going to start to average like 2 a game, which funnily enough, if you put 12 together right there, 8 and 4 over his 1, 2, 3, 4, he's averaging 3 a game over his last 4 because of the 8, which is absolutely insane. Like it's ridiculous. But he is one of the best defenders in the league. And so we want to keep our eyes out for Herb Jones. And this is the crazy thing. Because of these performances by Herb Jones, the inconsistencies here on the 2 of the last 3, he'll be dropped. I dropped him, and he was dropped 5% across all leagues in Yahoo. And now people are getting up to the straight away. And he is one of the top 5 ads of the new day. Let's not sweat Luke Cornett, but what I am going to sweat is Mr. Isaiah Joe. Now, we do know that there's been some people in and out of the lineups for Isaiah Joe, and he had missed, I think it was the last 4 or 5 games. There we go, 1, 2, 4 games Isaiah Joe had missed, and he returns today with a vengeance. Now, this is a pretty good sample size of what he does. He is a 3-point specialist, but he can get you some assists and some steals. Why? Because steals are what players in OKC do. So we love to see this. Now, he is widely available. He is so much available. He hasn't been dropped, and he hasn't been that much added to even give him 1 extra percent. But he is another one of those rotational pieces like the AJ Mitchells of the world that we can bring in. If he's going to get 22 minutes a game, and if you see 24, 15, 18, he was out, 22 is about, he can be really, really serviceable. So look at this trend for Isaiah Joe, and let's put him like as a big target for us in our leagues to try and pick up those wins. And if you want to pick up your wins, you know what you can do? You can absolutely lock it in and get on to Sports Wizard. Now, if you're tired of setting those alarms like I told you about, if you don't want to be up in the middle of the night, just like getting your ads left, right, and center, make sure you check out Sports Wizards. Now, they have an auto ad tool. You can search for a player, who to add, who to drop, the exact time you want to do it. It opens when free agency does. It is a really perfect tool for Yahoo and on ESPN. There's no more babysitting your waiver wire. You can just get on and get it done. You want to check it out. It is Sports Wizard. That is Sports WZRD. If you're looking to dominate your league, get onto it. Sports Wizard WZRD. FFRD.com. It is the ultimate fantasy edge, and it is absolutely totally free to sign up. But if you want the real juice, if you want that real goodness, all you need to do is unlock their features, and you can do that using promo code Fantasy Bible or Robin, ROBBIN, for 10% off and start winning today across all of your leagues. Now, let's get back into it and have a look at some of the other hottest ads we want to talk about here. And it's not who's the hottest ads, it is who is the ultimate hot list. Now, this combines with our sell high target. So I'm going to start off with the hottest names in fantasy basketball, because what you need to do is you need to understand who's hot and who no one's going to let some players go. So when we talk sell high, it's not under the microscope of like, oh, I've got to get rid of this guy real quickly. Like, we shouldn't also do that. Like, we should look to hold these players, especially if they're starting to find form. Let's take Jaren Jackson Jr., who for pretty much the first 2 months of this season has been rubbish. Him and I think the last big pillar to fall of these buy lows is Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner is a prime buy low target because he still has been not great. Like, he hasn't been great. But Jaren Jackson Jr., I'm playing against him in 2 leagues. DMAC, NBA Fantasy Bible, in my personal friends and family league, has him this week. And I'm losing blocks. And I've got Victor Wembanyama, and I've got Zach Edey and Kristaps out. Lord help me. Because Jaren Jackson Jr. just decided to start blocking shots again. I could have bought low on this bloke. And DMAC probably would have done it because it was a sustained period of 2 months. 2 months almost. It's the 19th of December as I record this. And we started back in late October. And so people really have to have been patient with Jaren Jackson Jr. So when we talk about who's hot, we need to do it under the microscope of okay, so it's been 2 great games. Awesome. Ja Morant was out the last game. Awesome. Triple J continued to shine. Can we trust it? Well, we really hope that we can. We truly hope that we can trust it. But I don't know if we can. But I think we can hold him. So we're not going to just sell high on him straight away because we've been waiting for that. Other guys, though, we can probably move into a different segment of who's hot and who's hot for a reason. And these are the hottest names in basketball over the last 2 weeks, according to Yahoo, off their Who's Hot page. And one of the ones I think is an absolute prime sell high, and we'll come to our sell highs. I'll do a speed round of sell highs to wrap the show. But it's being Keontae George. Now, this is based off their scale. Now, when we talk about who's hot, it's based off the day's action, the last few days of action. So these are the hottest players in the league who were taken. And if you want to use this tool, basically all you do is you just jump on there, you see it, and you see who owns these players. And you can see that Jay and Silent Matt in my league have a couple of these guys. Con Knipple, who I know the DMAC will not let me touch because I love the nip very, very much. But Kayla Fonte is cracking some of these guys with Cooper Flagg as well. I mentioned him on Sell High last week, and he has continued to escalate. And you can see some of my guys in here as well. Let's go through this list. Keontae George, Con Knipple, Steph Curry. This is an outrageous amount of threes. 12 threes before he came crashing down. So when we look at the who's hot, you need to deep dive these a little bit more because 12 threes will get you there. 18, 23s in 3 games will make you hot property. This was absolutely huge from Steph. Now, it was a loss today, a 1-point loss in Phoenix. Again, 3 bad losses in a row for the Golden State Warriors, and things are not happy there. But a 48 banger and 39, these are huge scores from Steph Curry, especially if you're in a category league. This is why he's a bit of a cat's king. And I did say at the beginning of the season that Steph Curry was a fringe first-round player. And when people were seeing him drift down their boards mid-second round, for me it was just a snare him because this is what he does. The assist there, the steals, he got a block shot, the turnovers there, but the threes and the volume that he generally does it today was woeful. He's going to put that loss on his shoulders because that is a 1-point loss against the Phoenix Suns. And 3 from 13, the Suns have been outstanding, but Steph Curry is always there. There's a couple of sell high names on this list because no one's going to be buying low on anyone here. These are not just guys you can sell high on. But there are also people who are talking about, like, who are the trends, these names are generated off the popular narratives at the time. If you're hearing about, oh, another huge performance from Josh Giddey, it's of course because you're getting triple doubles. Guys who are filling in voids here, like Nas Reed, are going to make this list. But he's put together some really good names. And here's a guy who's 75% added. Most of these guys are majority added in leagues. Keontae George was an absolute draft day steal. He was one of the targets that everyone knew that I was targeting late in my drafts. When I said if I need points or assists later on in drafts, and I don't really, if I'm punting field goal percentage, I'll take this bloke. And he went 120th overall here. Now, this is a 10-team league, 14 spots, 140 places. So this is like the second last round Keontae George was being picked up. So it's only a 10-person league. It's close family and friends. Shout out to Matty Owen, who drafted him. This is this list we go down. And this is the big names. And again, you see huge names here like Steph Curry, Cooper Flagg, who we know has been on another level lately, Giddey, Kevin Durant, huge games, Brandon Miller. You know, it always makes you happy when you see it. We start to see names like Jock Landau creeping up. Now, I'm going to focus on him for a second because he's been only 13% owned in Yahoo leagues. And after the last game's double-double, 20 and 10, 3 assists, 2 steals, the block shot there. He hasn't turned the ball over in 3. Shout out to Jock, one of Australia's favorite sons, the 4 threes, stretching the floor. This is huge. In the absence of Zach Edey, who we know is out currently, he was an absolute must roster and see what happens. And look, he came in the last couple games and he was serviceable. But he's been playing the stable 27 to 30 minutes a night. And you want that from your center. You want this from a big guy playing opposite Jaren Jackson Jr., who he seems to mesh really well with, and the minutes aren't going away. He spaces the floor as well in their egalitarian system. In Memphis without Ja, which is spreading the ball with Cam Spencer doing good work. So this is really good. And again, and I don't want to say it's an Australian thing, but in Australia, we pass the basketball a lot. Now, I know it's an American thing, but here we are a very pass-first, offense-based European system. I think the Australian game complements the European game a lot more. So this is where you guys got Andrew Bogut, really good with the passing and distribution. Guys like Josh Giddey, good with passing and distribution. Dyson Daniels, good with passing and distribution. Name an Australian out there and you can get your sharpshooters, but your hard workers are always open to pass and distribute. So I love that he does this in their system, and he either will finish a possession or he'll look to make a pass to get some assists out there and finish a possession for the Grizzlies. So Jock Landau, at that percent ownership, we love that. Now, Cam Spencer missed the last game due to personal reasons. He is up to 23% rostered, 7% in the last day. He is a game time decision for the next one, and so is Ja, but it did work with Ja earlier in the week, so we definitely want to put him on our radars there. No one else here is standing out for me apart from one name. Well, there's 2 names, actually. And I want to talk about Jalen Tyson because I mentioned Jalen Tyson in a podcast last week, and everyone was like, how do you know it? I'm like, oh, I think it's going to happen. Sure enough, it did happen. I said, I was on the Old Man Squad network. I said, I love the storyline of Jalen Tyson. Who doesn't love this guy? I think he makes his way into the starting 5 soon. And he is the starting 5 guy when someone was out. He has usurped DeAndre Hunter now in the starting lineup with Mobley being out. He is a joy to watch even with Allen being back. But this guy here, Wendell Carter Jr., is 33% owned in Yahoo leagues. And in fact, the thing that stuck out for me was if you look at the red up top there, shout out to my mate Nate, who owns Wendell Carter Jr., is he's down 1% ownership in the last day. Now, I don't know if this is based on Yahoo's point systems, but if you are doing anything and you're just dropping this guy, I wouldn't be dropping him. I'm keeping Wendell Carter Jr. Now, he is much maligned. He ends up on waivers sometimes at the beginning of seasons. He's a slow burn, but I really like this guy, and he was a very late add. In fact, he was included in this game, and he was added from free agency. In the beginning of the season, he went undrafted in this league. That is the life of a Wendell Carter Jr., sometimes in fantasy basketball, but he has been providing really good return for owners. And the fact that he was dropped, even by 1%, if you were listening to this, if you were watching this, and you were in a league where you see that Wendell Carter Jr. was added onto your wire, just go and grab him. Go and grab him. Why? Because his role is stable in the Orlando Magic. 28, 33, 31, 35, 29, and it doesn't touch on Franz Wagner. It doesn't touch on any outs because he is their incumbent big man. You've got Gogo Badadze chomping at the bit to get extra minutes here. We've got Mo Wagner, who's going to probably get minutes when he returns, maybe later in the season. But Wendell Carter Jr., Mr. Angel Reese himself, that's my girl. Wendell Carter Jr. is doing well. And he is on waiver wires. He is just out there in the ether, and he could be on your waiver wire because he has been dropped in the league. So this is why we have to look for him, because if he's dropped, this is a guy that you use a waiver claim for. You burn it. You burn it down. Another one here, Terrence Mann. He has been in and out. Jalen Tyson, I spoke on him. We want to get to him, but let's get to some of these real big sell high targets, including someone who's been the second best player in fantasy basketball on the last 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, the questions were answered. Let me say that again. Ladies and gentlemen, the questions were answered on whether Jalen Johnson and Trae Young could coexist. That's right. Trae Young and Jalen Johnson can absolutely coexist on a basketball court. Now, to speak on it, of course, there was a minutes limit to Trae Young. Jalen Johnson still played 39 minutes. Now, if Trae Young's on a minutes limit and Jalen Johnson's still playing 39 minutes here and putting up an almost historic triple-double type stuff, this guy has been a triple-double machine. In fact, he has not got one, not two, not three. He had 4 triple-doubles in his last 4 games and narrowly missed by 1 assist, probably because Trae Young missed a shot because he didn't shoot well on his return tonight. But another triple-double, 43 points, a 43 banger for Jalen Johnson. So the question, can Trae Young and Jalen Johnson still coexist on the court and Jalen Johnson be excellent? Was answered. And it's a resounding yes. Jalen Johnson and Trae Young can absolutely coexist on the same basketball court, and Jalen Johnson return value. If anything, the playmaking can still be there for him, but it frees up the ball in his hands. It puts the playmaking onto Trae Young. He can do what he does. He can do the defense. He can expel that energy. And he's flying around. He's still got 4 turnovers today. It's Jalen Johnson. It's the Atlanta Hawks. They've been soaring. But this guy's free throw percentage has been up this year. He hasn't missed one in the past 5 games. His field goal percentage was outstanding today on the 27 attempts. Again, 27 attempts. With Trae Young back in the lineup, even on a minutes restriction, is more shot attempts than he has had in his last 10 games. It was a free-flowing bloodbath of scoring today, and Jalen Johnson has been the second best player in fantasy basketball. Today, talking about points flowing, 143 to 135. And this was a funny one because the Lakers all came out, the narrative was like JJ Redick said, Luka and LeBron need to be better on defense. We're going to be more defensive minded. Yet they let the Utah Jazz without Larry Markkinen score 135 points on them. And 34 of those points went to one Keontae George. 34 points, 5 threes, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. This guy has been absolutely fine. Now, he doesn't give you many of the peripheral stats. So there is a big deficiency in his game. But I say it all the time. Points are the pretty girl at the party in the red dress. Like, who that? Oh, that's points. Points look good. I want me some points. And then I lack substance after a while. And you're like, yeah, I ate them points. They were good points. Good, tasty points. But I'm still losing. Probably need some defense. Probably need some more peripheral stats. Now, this is a good thing about Keontae this season. He gives you some of them peripherals. He's given you the assists. He's been very decent in that area. But the defense really isn't there. There's been nothing there the last couple. The thing that I do like, though, is the low amount of turnovers. For the most part, I like that. And I like that he's been differential to Isaiah Collier as well, who had that double-double with the 13 assists today. I like that for Keontae George. But what gets the attention of fantasy managers when they look at that box score, like, think about it. You open up a box score, you get to see a trade like, oh, Keontae George, oh, not Keyshawn George, oh, Keontae George, Utah, oh, it's Utah, oh, Keontae George. Actually, he's been pretty good this season. Let me have a look at what Keontae's been doing. 34, 37, 5 threes in his last 3 games. Oh my gosh, he's been plus 500 in his percentages. hey, the free throw percentage on volume as well. Again, I spoke about this earlier in the season. Keontae George was getting these points on absolutely incredible volume from the free throw line, and it's rung true the last 3 games. He has been excellent. This is a league-winning kind of volume guy. 10, 12. If you were taking 34 free throw shots and pretty much knocking down all of them bar 3, 31 from 33, that's giving you a near 880 percentage from 3-point line. That's from the free throw line. That's massive. That can really buoy you up on volume alone. This is what Keontae George has been bringing you. I think it's sell high because you just do that. You open up that, 34. Wow. And it kind of gets the salivating bit. Someone else who's been doing that a little bit lately, shout out to Podcast PM, my boy, Steve in the house. These minutes were huge. It is sell high on Bobby Portis. We all know double-doubles can look good and sexy, but he is a perfect package partner. Perfect package partner. Say that 3 times first. Perfect package partner, perfect package partner. Perfect package partner is Portis. Portis is the perfect package partner. There's some alliteration for you because Giannis Antetokounmpo, when back in this lineup, he just takes a massive hit. And so this is what we want. We want to get rid of Portis now in a nice little package, make some weight on this one because the 2 double-doubles in the last 3 games, it's sell high on Bobby Portis. And I hate to say this. He is 100% rostered. And if you look at a lot of these guys, our last one, 81% rostered, 100% rostered. This guy isn't even rostered in all leagues. If you're in a 10-team league, by the way, and you're listening to this, just check Yahoo and see if Keontae, are you in a 6-person league and there's no room on a roster for Keontae George? Wild to me that you have 6 players. Get some more mates and get Keontae George. There's my advice. Open up some friends. Reach out. DM if you're not in a 10-person. I will get you people in there in your league. 31% rostered. Again, this is why he is a perfect package partner Portis because we know he exists on the waiver wire. Josh Giddey is 100% for good reason. He has had 3 double-doubles in his last 6 games. The percentages are all over the shop for the bloke, but today, again, another double-double. 2 steals, a block shot. The blocks are there. The 3s up in 5. You start to look at the box score. You look at the free throws here. 1. And this looks great because of the percentage. Where it doesn't look so great is when you look at the big percentage dips where he have when he gets to the line a lot. 6 from 9, 5 from 8, 6 from 7. And we never know what Giddey we're going to get. The differential Giddey or the attacking Giddey. If we're getting Giddey just getting to the free throw line once a game, yeah, I'm not that good with it. This guy should be attacking the rim. Like he is a unit, like physically a unit. And I know the NBA is a big place, but he's a big dude. And he is point guard, shooting guard, small forward eligible. Like he can mix it up. This guy here is just huge. Now, 5 threes is also his career high. So he matches that today. So I sell high on Giddey because this is a triple-double player. And if you put him, let's say with perfect package partner Portis over here, it's a really sexy package that could get you a significant upgrade into an easy top 15 player. Now, I think Josh Giddey is only a moment away from an absolute huge break into that top 20, so we want to manage that. But putting people together like this is important. And I think when you see triple-doubles mount up, it looks really good. And Giddey, the kid, can absolutely play. And another player, I should have just packaged this with Olmay down this way. A couple of Atlanta Hawks guys. Look at the Atlanta Hawks love fest. The other question was answered today. What do I do with Nickeil Alexander-Walker? Now, you already saw him be dropped 1% in the last day. Why? Because people were very fearful of his role upon Trae Young's return. He still played 34 minutes, the exact same amount of minutes he played before Trae Young returned. Now, again, Trae was on a minutes limit, but the increased, and he took the same amount of shots, by the way. He took the exact same amount of shots in Trae Young's return as the last game. He hit more of them, though. The pressure, I think, was a little bit off this guy. So maybe when we say sell high, it's like, look what he just did. Trae was bad. I know he's on a minutes limit, but he's still got 34. What, maybe he gets 30? And then tell your person, let's go back and see what he was doing, like in like 30 minutes a game, 16, 2, and 5. Still viable, still valuable. But seeing 28 points there with 8 rebounds, 2 assists straight away, that's really good. And Nikhil Alexander Walker this is the perfect kind of situation where a returning player comes back, it answers a question, and it poses you a question as a manager. Well, is this guy still really good? So you can hold him until it completely derails and Trey's back playing an exorbitant amount of minutes, or we can take it how it is. And our last one on this one is Jamal Murray. He has been playing at an absolutely elite level. Jamal Murray, in the last 2 weeks, has actually been the 11th best player. Now, if we're looking at the 11th best player in fantasy, we want to absolutely target and put him on our radar and package him with someone else and make an upgrade, because Jamal Murray is a name. We know Jamal Murray. We know the kid can play. We know this guy can play basketball. So we absolutely know that about him. But the bloke has been absolutely ascendant. Like, he has been putting up incredible numbers. And to be the 11th ranked player, I'm going to run through the names who he is just besting. That's first round. In most formats, let's say 10 teams is obviously not when you're 11, but 12 teams is generally the base of what we operate. Like 12 teams, rosters around that journey. The person who's above him is Trey Murphy. The next guy in front of him, a huge name, Cade Cunningham, Cam Spencer. Like, you don't expect that. Con Knipple, absolutely huge. And I said I'd mention the nipple later on in the episode. But just behind Jamal, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Kevin Durant, Tyrese Maxey, Larry Markkinen. Then you start getting a bit murky with guys like Jay Huff after a bad game, Jordan Walsh. Even guys like Paul George and Jalen Brunson sit around that way. Josh Hart, Kevin Porter Jr. But the name for me interesting was Luka, because I've seen trades recently where this guy has been moved in a package with someone else for a Luka, and it's been accepted. I don't know if it'll be vetoed, and I don't believe in veto culture, but his numbers speak for themselves. Like, this guy is putting up 30-point games on the reg, 3 of his last 4. 7 threes was big today. He hadn't done that for quite a while. He had the 10 on the 52 piece. That was massive. But what he does is he does everything on incredible percentages. On low turnovers, he gets steals. The assists are there. He has the big assist games. Now, the rebounds aren't really his strong suit. Like, he's not getting in there and banging bodies for the boards. But he's a hard worker. This is prime time Jamal Murray, and he absolutely makes my list of sell high players. And the other guy, I hate to say it, it goes all the way to the top. It's right up here beneath the Keontae George. It's KK, Con Knipple. This guy has been incredible this last week. Now, he is only 52% rostered. Shout out to DMAC, NBA Fantasy Bible, fellow host here on Believe in Fantasy. He knows that I wanted him. He knows the story. He added him from free agency. He dropped him. He had his shooting guard eligibility because he's only a small forward, and he added him moments before I went to add him because I'm an old school Charlotte Hornets fan. And in the absence of LaMelo Ball, this guy has been incredible. When LaMelo comes, the waters get murky. And there was a kind of a space in here back around that New York Knicks loss where it was like, should I sell him? Or, maybe sell him, like maybe someone's going to buy the hype. Oh, yeah, maybe I should. 12 points. Then the 20, then the 18, then 13. You look at that sample size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and you can get a middle of the line player. And then all of a sudden it clicked again. And this has been done on incredible percentages. Like, for the most part, he's been a plus 500 player, 100% from the free throw line. Everything is sexy about Con Knipple in this. And this is huge. And so this guy to sell high when he is returning first round value on the season is absolutely massive. He has been prime time. But again, it can't be sustained for that much longer until LaMelo is out. Now, when LaMelo returns, let it happen. That's when you send your offers out. That's when it becomes like another buy low, but maybe a more sustainable buy option. But this is why you can sell high on Con Knipple, because it's a perfect maelstrom happening around him. Because again, we can't really say that this guy is the 7th best player in fantasy basketball. We can't. I don't think he is. He's very, very good and exciting talent. This is the kind of player that they were hoping Dalton Connect was going to be. They needed a floor spacing guy like Dalton Connect. And so when that trade went rescinded, Apparently, people were like, look, if we get a good draft pick, we can target Comca Nipple was the plan. And that has been done in Charlotte, and it's been incredibly executed. Their future looks young and bright. And talking about young and bright, I think it's time that I just say Merry Christmas, and may all your, Christmases be merry and bright. I should probably add a Christmas thing, maybe some snowmen like this. There we go. May all your Christmases be merry and bright. From me, I'm Matthew, as my mum calls me, and will at Christmas, no doubt, especially if I cook something wrong, because by the time I see you again, Christmas would probably have come and gone. So Merry Christmas from me to you, your family, and for me and my family, not only here in Australia, but my Believe in Fantasy family worldwide. May you be blessed. May you hit that waiver wire. May you get them ads. May you sell high. May you get them high, guys, in the appropriate way that the language speaks. And may you make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Merry Christmas.